Hey guys, Paul McLean here, and welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Podcast. And hey, excited to have you on. I hope this serves you every single week. I thank you for spending the time each Monday to kind of get your week going in the right way. And I hope it's foundationally speaking, something that really helps you build the week you want to have every week. And so today I sat back and thought, this is Thanksgiving week. Who can we have on that just has a phenomenal attitude? I've gotten to know him very well. His mindset has always been good. His mindset was good before it should have been good. Meaning that he was just getting started in the business. I'm like, man, the way he holds himself, the way he talks, it's reflective in the way he thinks. And they always had this high level of gratitude and always just like presented himself like $1,000,000. Claude Perry, thank you for joining, bro. I appreciate you being on with us.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, first question I've got. For one, your team did over $2 million, right, in paid business. So, I mean, that's a great accomplishment, man. I know sometimes it can kind of get lost with how much success FFL is having, but dude, 2 million a month, man, that's more than like 99% of every IMO in the entire industry. So, what you've done is a big deal. And I remember meeting you, Claude, like at the first meeting. I think it was up in Northern California. And dude, you just came in and you look good, bro. Like you had some swag, you know what I mean? Like you just dressed right, you look good. And the way you spoke was just like, it was an abundance thought process. At the time, I know you weren't experiencing abundance because you were just getting started. You were day one. Can you kind of talk about that, man? Like the importance, why was it important for you to always be, holding yourself right, dressing right, looking right, and kind of talk about the attitude that you had? Because I remember day one, man, meeting you. And I don't know if there's anybody else I remember the first time I met him, but I remember you.
Man, well, I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for having me on. And as far as your team goes, man, gratitude is a good topic because I'm so thankful to work with, you, Andrew, Sean, and just my team that we have put together over the years has been phenomenal. I've learned early on to find folks that are better than you because typically they're real adults, as Sean calls them, and they do great business. So I do only what the team has done. So for sure. And Deion says, on the side note, Deion Sanders says, look good, feel good, play good, live good, eat good. So following along with Deion Sanders, always gotta look sharp. I grew up with a single mom in church, right? So I'm used to kind of always looking on point. And, I like looking sharp. And I think being young in business, you have to, position yourself the right way. So as far as the fashion or, upkeep, that's a must. You have to really go. People judge you, and whether they should or they shouldn't, you have to look a certain way. And I think you feel better too, right? When you wake up just in your way and get out of bed, you're not A+, right? But when you carry yourself the right way, get a fresh haircut, brush your teeth really good, smell good. I'll put cologne on right now. I'm in the office, I put cologne on still, just cologne, so I can smell good and feel good. So I'm definitely about feeling good.
I love that, dude. Well, I think, Claude, for me, the scripture in the Bible says like, judge, not be judged. And I think that a lot of times we think that means like God judging us. And I think what it really also means is that a lot of times when we judge others, that we end up judging ourselves more harshly, because just as human beings, man, like we're all flawed and, disaster. And a lot of times, like my struggle is thinking that I'm good enough, that I'm not going to get found out or exposed for who I really think I am, who I am, because I'm not that good. Right. And I think everybody kind of battles that. But when you dress a certain way and you feel good about yourself, I think you're more inclined, for one, to, like you said, some people will judge you or whatever for the way you dress or appear, right? If you show up to a client's house wearing a tank top, they're probably not like, this is a guy to help me with life insurance. Just thinking like, dude, I can see your nipple hair. Like, why, exactly. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Where's your shirt at? But at the end of the day, I think also we can kind of look at ourselves a lot. And when we can identify ourselves as a person that we want to become, like that 2.0 version of what we want to step into, we're more likely to behave in such a way that brings that to pass. And so can you kind of talk about that a little bit, man? Like, just, do you think it makes a difference if somebody, getting going in the business, they have the option to wear whatever they want to wear, and maybe they're working out of their home, or maybe they're plugging into a work spots meeting or what have you. do you think it matters in their identity and how they see themselves and how they dress, look, how they, smell, put on some clothes, stuff like that? Do you think it matters,
Sure.
and why?
For sure. Well, if it matters to them, it matters to me, right? So for one, people, when I say people with judges, right, we don't live in fear because of that, but we have to be cognizant of that, right? So folks will say, this guy is sharp. Let's listen to him talk more than a guy who's not sharp. Now, as far as someone getting started, I believe everyone should dress as they want to recruit, which means I want to look a certain way. So I attract that kind of person. So I believe it's 100% professional. In fact, when we do our team trainings in huddles like this on Zoom, it's a must to have a camera on because I want to know who's in a white beater or in bed or who, is walking around the house not locked in. So when you're dressing a certain way, you're locked in, you're showing up, usually that affects your state, and your state controls the way you see yourself. And then when you perform a certain way, because you know who you are, you get better results. So I'm a big fan of, brainwashing myself, right? Being in my best state, looking a certain way. So I agree 100%. If someone is new from home, work spots, or like me doing this in your car when you first started, I believe every day you should get up, dress up like you're going to an office, because that's going to give you a certain attitude and you will act a certain way.
I love that, man. I think that's spot on. And so maybe for anybody that's watching right now, that small little subtle thing, I think sometimes we overlook the little things because it's like, oh, what is that? But sometimes those little things lead to bigger things, and those bigger things lead to exactly where you want to be. And so I think that's a big, big thing. Claude, talk about like, I think when we look at the organization, I know for myself, going back to being early in the business, one of the things that I dealt with was doubt. Am I going to be able to do this? Is there people that can help me do this? Fear of it not working out and what the consequence was if it didn't, fear of rejection. I mean, all those kind of things where I think that fear can be a big issue for agents getting started. I think it shows up, all the time, right? We either have a spirit of fear or we can have one where we're forecasting and looking forward with faith in that what we're hoping for is going to come to pass. We just have to put through the formalities, but it's already been done. Like we're already going to be victorious. Can you kind of talk about, for yourself, your attitude and your thought process it seems like you've always got this positivity and expectation that you're going to win. And this was even early on. Like I said, I felt your presence when you came on board the FFL. What do you do to develop that? Is this just how you've always been? Like if I would have met Claude when he was 4.5 years old, he'd have been like, oh dude, I'm going to be the one that wins the race on the monkey bars. Or like, did you develop that? Is it something you do each day? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, man, I appreciate that. And just speaking of fear, false evidence appearing real, right? So we have to call it out. And when you call it out, you can change it, right? So I think anyone that is experiencing fear, you have to call it out for one. And for me, Paul, I'm a 7-year work in progress. 7 years ago, I looked at myself in the mirror, literally, and decided I was not happy where I was at. And happened to go to some events in personal development. It changed my life tremendously, where I invested in coaching, invested in working on myself harder than my job. So what you see today is a byproduct of a work in progress. And every day, whoever you are, you're going to war with the old self and the new self. So at 4 years old, nah, man, I was probably, pushing kids off the monkey bars, right? Nah, but so as far as rituals, I believe we all have the rituals. If you get up and brush your teeth, that's a great ritual. You probably have a spouse still. You probably have clients still. If you get up listening to negativity or the news, that's a habit as well. So I got really good early on. I was blessed to have people that pointed out exactly the rituals that didn't serve me and that did serve me. So I think first thing, just being honest, what I get up and do is pray. I get up every morning and I drop to my knees literally and I start thanking God. I don't ask for anything. I just thank him, because every day, man, we are blessed beyond measure. And I think just connecting at that second, and not that I'm super know what to say or anything like that, but I think I just talk to God and I just thank him for everything, from waking up to my carpet to my son sleeping. And I put it on paper. I use Evernote. I put 10 things where I'm thankful for every single morning. And then I put what's going right in my business, what's going right in life, what I'm looking forward to today, and what I'm going to do when adversity strikes today. So I believe I'm playing offense better than defense. You can score from defense, but you score more points on offense. So I think when I get up the right way, do myself first, put my mask on first, and be very thankful right away, man. Like, I think gratitude is the first way to open a door for your blessings. A lot of people don't know this, but when I first got FFL, I was coming off probably my worst 90 days of my whole life. It was things going on with my son. My last company said everything I wasn't going to be, put me on blast for in the office, that kind of old school, get out of here, that kind of old school thing, right? And I had doubt like no other, because I had made it from Safeway to grind, from being a real employee to having some success in insurance, and then it went left. So for me, I got on Facebook and called to go to war with my doubt, because I knew if I was watching people cheer me on, it would bring my stress levels down. And it helped out. Folks thought I was doing it to give away pies and stuff. It was cool, but I really was doing it to get myself in the right mode of being, comfortable and letting people see that, I am trying. So, but every day you have to have rituals. If you don't have those, you have to write it down. You have to write down right now, what are 10 things you're thankful for? What's one thing going great in your business? One thing going great in life? What's one thing you're excited about this day? And when adversity happens, when things go wrong today, how are you going to respond? And when you can do that, the trick is this: remembering what did I write down to actually do it now, right? So I use Evernote with my phone, because I always have my phone on me, right? Use a journal, it's in your car, or you're at the picnic, and you can't do that, right? So gotta have it on you on the spot, and I think it helped me out a lot.
Dude, that's such a big deal, and I think even as you go into like dialing the phones, if you could just stop and say, man, thank God that I got leads to call. Thank God that I'm not out there knocking on doors or going mauling, right? Like when you're walking up to somebody, hey, you're going to die one day. You need life insurance. Like, I don't have to do that. I can sit back and I can call families that have expressed interest and that have raised their hand and already kind of had this enrollment factor done. Now it's already done. I just got to go through the formalities, which is calling them up, booking an appointment. And see, when we see it like that, we can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. They're two contradictory emotions. And so now I'm moving from the feeling of gratitude. I'm more likely to respond in such a way. I'm more likely to have my tonality, my pitch, my pausing, all that's going to be in line to allow me to go out there and see what I'm already feeling, which is grateful that I get to call this family, that it's already kind of done. Like, I just need to book the appointment. Now, does that always happen? No, but then my narrative doesn't change to, oh, this lead isn't any good. It's like, maybe they're having an off day, but no big deal. Thank God I got another family to call, right? But if we can have that at the center, foundationally speaking, then it's always better. No different than getting in a car. What are we naturally by default filled with? Fear, right, Claude? Like, man, they're probably going to be busy. I'm probably not going to know what I'm saying. What if I get hung up here? What if they want to think about it? What if they want to do this? What if they want to shop around? You go through all these different things that we don't want that are really just kind of a symptom of the root of fear that we feel. But if we were to stop and say, hey, man, praise God, I get to go sit with this client that they might not come home tomorrow, but because I'm sitting with them and I care a lot about them, I'm going to be able to help lead, guide, and direct them. And they're going to get a plan in place today. And let me visualize this all going through, and so
I agree.
hey, Claude, let me ask you this. Do you think that, in the mornings that you don't do your ritual, because I know I'm the same thing. I think everybody's routine, like you said, but there is some days where I mess up, where I don't go through and I skip one. Do you feel like your whole day is different? Like your mood is different throughout the day when you don't do it, when you do it?
It's very similar to if I went through a day without brushing my teeth. It's the exact same awkward feeling. And what has to happen for me, I have to really, I have to do it, or it just, it's hard to explain. It's like an uncomfortable shirt. It just feels weird. I feel like I'm catching up all day, like I'm kind of behind. So I think it's important. It's a must. You talk about that a lot, non-negotiables. It has to be a non-negotiable to do those things, because when you do those things, you really are walking into what's called your true self, which is your best self. And we have to give ourselves a shot, because if you are like, this business is a little like playing football. Not for everybody. Everybody is meant to go full speed, hit another grown person, right? But you have to start priming yourself to be the best version of yourself, because the movie that's playing in your head is probably the hangups, the doubt, the kid in third grade who pushed you off the monkey bars, right? So you have to get rid of that movie and replace it with a better movie. And when you're thankful, when you're getting up, thanking God for leads, I'm not mauling, when you high energy, to me, that helps me out a lot. Like I'm a big rah-rah guy, but for myself though, I don't believe in having to always need someone to pump you up. pump yourself up. So you have to use energy. That's why I move a lot. Feel energy, feel excitement, have emotion. And when you live like that, it's said that you live better. And you know, it helped me out a lot, and sound like it has for you too.
Hey, Claude, I'm gonna give you one thing I just heard that I started adding to that routine right after I got done brushing my teeth. And this might sound corny, but I feel like it's working. I'm 2 days in. I saw this, and I can't remember where I saw that, but they said like give yourself a high five, right? And it was talking about like all this neuroscience behind it all and how big of a deal it is. Like when you high five a player or what have you. They even said if you go back and you look at NBA championship teams in the preseason, they can tell you, Claude, who's going to win based off the amount of high fives that the team gave you. And they can tell you who's going to get in last place. And it's proven like over years and years and years. And it just talks about that like positivity, right? Because like, hey, when you get a high five, it's like, hey, you got this, go get it. Hey, good work. Let's go. But a lot of times we don't feel like we deserve our own high five. We're good to give them out, right? But we don't feel like. And so it's just funny thing and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try it. If it works, I'll be corny, man. And so my wife the other day, she's like, what the heck did you just do? And I and I went like this, and I high five myself in the mirror because it's just that's what it says to do. And I'm like, hey, if it's proven, it's neuroscience, and this is I was like, this makes sense. I'm gonna high five myself in the morning, and there's so much more to it. But this is what we're talking about, This is the stuff.
There's one more too. There's one more. So they say if you do the Superman stance for 3 minutes every morning, it drives cortisol levels down, and that's stress. So imagine standing like Superman, and you just standing there. I would put a towel on, right? May scare someone, but if you stand there like Superman, you'll feel legit, man. So give that a shot, and then high five.
Let's go. I like it, man. Hey, I'm doing a Superman and a high five. But and this might sound funny, but guys, this is the stuff that works. You might be one Superman away or high five away from starting to do away with the feelings that have been derived from the past that are really just dictating your forward movement. And it's like, this is what I think, Claude, for me, like there's things that if I'm not intentionally looking back with the right lenses, I can basically have feelings from the past that are negative, I'm not good enough, all these different things. And there are things that I might look back with the right set of lenses and say, thank you, God, that happened. I'll give you an example. Like for me, like, when I first got married at 19, I just got in the business. We had our first daughter, and me and my wife separated. She was 18, I was 19. I was a complete idiot, didn't know what I was doing. And that year, in the moment, I was thinking like, why is this happening? I got this business I'm trying to get going. We got our first daughter, all these things, right? And now I look back and I'm like, I'm so grateful that God, that I went through that he didn't take me out of that right away, because I needed that to learn and to seek him, and for her to learn and to seek him, to learn how to love each other, because we figured out how much loved we were by our creator. And I'm not trying to preach him, but that's just how we kind of went through it. And so looking back, it's like, I'm grateful for something that took place that in the moment I was so disgruntled by and wondering like, why I wish this wasn't. Can you think about like in your business a time where you look back and in the moment you're like, man, this sucks, and why did it happen, that you're grateful that it did because of what's come from that, the seed that's been taken from that?
Yeah, man. I'll do you one better. Life happens for us, not to us. There's always a gift in every situation. So anytime I have a stressed out situation, I think it was called a 3-gift technique, or 3 gifts from the situation. Case in point, 2 weeks ago, I was going to Tennessee for a grand opening. I missed my flight. Now, this was years ago. I would stress out, go to the bar in the airport and have some shots, right? Instead, I'm like, you know what? Calm, collective, Southwest, give me another flight. I stayed cool. I kept my energy level cool. And guess who's on my next flight? Eric Hamadi. So now I'm picking Eric's brain the whole flight to Tennessee. And because I stayed calm and collective, I believe I was blessed with that. Now, granted, was he going to be on a flight a little ago? Probably so, right? But let's say I let that moment mess with me. Oh, I'm stressed. I missed my flight. Go have a beer. Go have a shot. Not preaching about that bad or good, but I believe that we have to always be calm and just let things play out. And even better than that, I hired, Sam, for you, a lot of people that work with different company. And a lot of them say, man, I'm so glad I'm here now because I'm making so much money, comps higher, no cost to start, leads, free training. I love it here. I wasted so much time at my last company. I go, nah, man, there is something you got from there. There are a relationship that you built there that now you have to come back and bring with you, because those people still need you. And life's not about just you and your high comp. It's about how many people can you bring with you. So I believe every situation we have to stop and just look at what is good in this moment and don't overreact. I heard this from my pastor. He goes, sometime when you have kids, I have son, I have a 17-year-old son, 3-year-old son, where my son's yelling, stop yelling, stop yelling. Well, now I have yelled at him, encouraged the behavior, and told him to stop. So we can be spazzed out in a moment and go haywire and now cause a whole new set of problems. So why not just look for the blessing in the moment, don't overreact, and just trust that it works in your favor, because we do have favor, I believe.
Yeah, I think absolutely, man. I think the favor is a given, and if we're focused on the favor, we'll the fear will dwindle, right? And so, Claude, think about. I wonder if there's somebody on here today that if you could just go back and take a look at your last 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, and find the good in what God didn't do, right? Like, and I love what you said about the IMO, like working from another company, thinking like, man, why did I have to start there? And I had to go through all the struggle, and I had to put all this money in credit card debt because I didn't have only a 55% comp and all that. Well, if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't have this level of appreciation for where you're at now. And your appreciation dictates performance. So you wouldn't be performing at such a high level, not wanting to squander the opportunity you have, because you wouldn't have known the opportunity you had if you didn't have something to contrast it against. And I think the same reason why most people that, they say, I think an immigrant is like 7 times more likely to become a millionaire than a natural born citizen. Well, they just know what they have their hands on, right? They know where they're at and what they have their hands on, and they're not going to let it go by. So they work harder, take more risk, think bigger. And that's the same thing. Anybody that's coming on board from a prior IMO, that was a good thing, because your appreciation is way higher than somebody that just doesn't know any better. They just don't know what they don't know, because this is where they started. And so I think that's such a big deal, man. I think that's massive. Claude, what are some ways that you practice, like intentionally, like maybe some acts of intention throughout the day when it comes to gratitude, whether that's showing gratitude towards clients or to agents or different things you can do throughout the day that kind of help, express that and put your actions behind it?
Yeah, I believe attention is everything. I think I keep going back to brushing our teeth. We try and brush our teeth. So are we trying to be nice? Are we trying to be intentional? So I'm big on notes to myself throughout the day. Screen savers, mirrors around my house, whiteboards, the whole nine. Personally, I said thank you to everybody. You can hold the door for me, hold it for you. You walk by, thank you, or you're welcome. I'm always trying to give out that good energy, because what happens is, earlier on, you said a big thing. It's a muscle, right? And being nice, thankful is a muscle. And if you live over 20 years, you haven't really strengthened it, it's going to be less strong. So saying thank you to everybody, being appreciative, I smile. So it's called the 10-5 rule. Walking down the street, if you're 10 feet in front of me, I give you eye contact and a smile. If you're 5 feet, I give you a compliment. That has helped me recruit so many people, because I just simply smile. Hey man, nice shirt. And what happens is people start giving you compliments back. And you go, oh, thank you, man, this is a nice shirt. And then they go, man, so question, what do you do? Oh, blah, blah, blah. What do you do? Nice, man, listen, get your card. Boom, right? So just being intentional about being a good person. I'm sure you got Halter book, How to Win Friends, Influence People by Dale Carnegie, Dale Carnegie. Same thing. We have to be intentional. So for me, I make it a point to say hi to people. I speak. I say thank you. And I always remind myself every single day that I'm a blessed man. Throughout the day, I take time and get to myself, like Kobe, you just have to go in silence sometime. I'm not a big fan of listening to music throughout the day. I just sometimes be quiet and hear my thoughts. And I write down what I want to do. And it's be kind. It's fine. 5 people today that need my help. And I ask my team, how can I help you? How can I help you? And some people, say a long list, some say a short list. But you ask how to be helpful.
I love that, man. I mean, these are some very practical things that anybody can do to go out there and increase their level of gratitude. And like I said, what you appreciate, you perform at a different level, and it just changes everything. You're more likely to get the right ending of the story if you've got the right perspective of it. And so I think that's such a great thing, man. I mean, that's a big, big, big deal. Even sending somebody like a text of encouragement, like if you want to be encouraged to encouragement to somebody else. And I feel better when I just shoot a message to somebody and let them know I appreciate them. Like I very often send Sean Mike a text to say, I do appreciate your leadership, appreciate all you've done. And because I do, but I want to express it, right? I want to get that out. I don't want to just back in my mind say, oh, if somebody asks me, do you oh, of course I do. But I'm never thinking about it. We want to think on those things that are good, noble, of good praise, worthy. That's the stuff we want to think about, because we're thinking about that. We're more likely to get more of that, right? Our thoughts are things. We create that stuff. And so I think that's such a big deal. Claude, anything else you want to kind of touch upon and add to this kind of conversation about gratitude, Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving's this
Yeah,
week. So
I mean, you hit a lot of things on the head, and I like the practicality of all this because it's simple. And the simple things we all can do, but will we do it? And I think I challenged my team to close the knowing and doing gap, because we can know what to do in our first turn blue, but if we don't do it, there you go. So I think first step is being aware of yourself, where you're at. And now you're not being aware and staying in that moment. Hey, I'm not a positive person. I have the habit of being doubtful. You acknowledge that and you write it down. I'm personally a big fan of writing everything down on paper. So I write down all my disbeliefs, limiting beliefs often. When I have them, when they creep my mind, I don't let them play a movie in my mind. I write them down so I can see what they look like on paper. And I go, oh, it's actually, you're not that. You're not that, but you are this. And I write down all the positive, all the positive. And it feels good. Don't start a fire, but you burn the other one. All this stuff sounds kind of rah-rah and kicking. I get that. But anything that can work will work if you do it. And because I told myself that's not who I am, this is who I am, and I focus on what I want, that movie plays in my mind. So if you listen to this and you're honestly trying to get over these self-doubt, limiting beliefs, you have to write down those self-doubt or belief first, I believe, to call them out. If the enemy comes to your home and you don't see him, he's dangerous. But if you see the enemy, you have a likelihood of stopping the enemy. So I call it out first. I write down what I want. I'm happy and grateful as. I'm happy and grateful as. Not that I'm trying to get there. I already have it. And I focus on that. And I play that movie. And taking a step further, now we're getting deep now, right? But hey, you asked me, how many of us have a life script? Are you honestly telling yourself how your life's going to pan out? Are you speaking over your kids? Are you speaking over your family? Are you actually writing down yourself how it looks on paper? Then recording yourself, listening to that when you sleep at night, letting your subconscious mind work for you. So we have to be very aware of these things. And if you think, that's not true, I would challenge you to try it then for 60 days and see if it works. But I bet if you try it, you'll go, dang, I feel better now. Then, give Paul a shout out.
well, I'll tell you, man, that this is the stuff that works. And I think we all can experience, like, coming to Thanksgiving every year. It's like the day where everybody kind of stops and they intentionally think about what they're thankful for, which I think that's probably the most important thing about the day is the awareness of the power and gratitude, because most people just don't know. But think back of how you'll feel this Thursday. And I know for my family, it's like the only day where we sit around the table with all the extended family. We say, hey, what were you grateful for this year? And we kind of go through all that. And you could just tell the kids and everybody how much better they feel when they fix or focus on something that's of good report. And but this is the thing, that if you do it every day, certain things shouldn't be a one-time event. It should be a daily practice. And for anybody on here today, if you make this a part of your daily practice, the results that you want, they're on the other end of that, right? You're going to go ahead and start putting feet behind the gratitude and the attitude of gratitude and the faith. You're going to see a lot better of an outcome and result, right? And so this is the stuff that matters. Sit back in the morning and kind of think about even small little things. Like, I'm thankful for my daughter's smile, and just think about that and how it makes you feel, and spend time in detail, in depth, really kind of experiencing that emotion and feeling that, and then forecast your day from that. Start seeing the things that you want to play out, just like you said, Claude. That was so good, man. Like, really kind of seeing that script of the way you want it to play out. And there's going to be adjustments to the script, things that come up that you didn't expect. But if you have an attitude of gratitude, when that takes place, you'll perceive the adversity in the right way. That's going to allow you to receive the seed that every adversity brings, that'll lead you to a higher level. And that's the stuff. It's a mindset thing, guys. And I do believe that this business is very mental. I believe most everything in life is very mental, but even more so here when we look at success, because the roadmap is set before you. Every podcast, every call, the boot camps, those are all the roadmap of success. It's step here, get this lead strategy, dial on these days, block out this time, dial 3 times back to back. When you go in the home, this is a structure that you should, look to do. This is how you build value. This is how you overcome objections. The roadmap is there. Mechanically, this stuff is before you. The plan is there. But mentally, the mindset, that's the thing I believe is the number one reason why people fail in this business is a lack of the right mindset, right? They have too much fear, doubt, discouragement. And really what they're doing is they're just moving from the feelings of the past. They're not intentionally taking back control over their feelings by choosing the right thoughts. And if you can choose the right thoughts, you're going to have the right, outcomes come, because it all leads from that. And so, Claude, dude, that was phenomenal. Anything you want to add and wrap up as in closing?
Yeah, this is a cool story, man. So I'm a big fan of Les Brown, and I had the pleasure to meet him a couple of times, and my older son at the time as well as with us. And he told us a story about fear. And you got married before. So every day he used to walk home from school. There was this dog that chased him every day. Big dog, running. He'd run from the dog, hop on a car, get dirty every day. And one day he decided, I ain't run from this dog. So a dog chases him. He grabs a brick, turns around at the dog. Dog has no teeth. That dog represents fear. Most fear has no gas. Why are we letting it drive us around? So we have to call it out, face the dog with that brick. And I think when you be intentional about that, dogs never have teeth. So
I love it.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate you.
Great story. Thank you for being on, guys. Let's make sure to share this. This is a podcast that I think will serve many different people in many different facets, very practical. And the things that I think matter most is this stuff right here, to be anxious of nothing, but in everything with prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, make your request known, define it, and then you'll be able to defeat it. Let's go defeat it today and take your business to the next level. So share this, like it, subscribe, comment below. You'll be in for the drawing for free lead money to help aid you in making it a bigger week this week than last week. And guys, it was a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for serving us, Claude, and providing some phenomenal feedback this morning, man. This was very, very good. And I appreciate you serving the team, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
All right, guys, make it a big week. Stay strong, be steadfast. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? Welcome back again. It is time to give away $250 in lead credit. If you commented on last week's video, which is playing here, then you're automatically entered to win. So what are you doing? Stop right now. Go and comment right down below for a chance to win free leads. Who doesn't love free leads, right? And this week's Thanksgiving, it means it's also Black Friday. So sign up for WorkSpots, because WorkSpots does so many discounts on leads. And I'm almost positive that they are doing a discount for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So sign up for WorkSpots if you have not already and take your business to the next level. You do not want to miss it. Without further ado, let's see who won this week's giveaway. Kimberly McMullen. Kimberly McMullen, congratulations. You just won $250 in lead credit. Guys, don't worry if you did not win this week. We do this drawing every single week. So be sure to comment every week and you might get picked. And even if you don't, you could still save $250 worth of leads if you sign up for WorkSpots and get those discounts. So guys, take care. We'll see you next week. Have an amazing Thanksgiving this week if you're celebrating. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.